In December 2012, Bill Ackman walked onto a New York stage with a mission to expose what he believed was the biggest corporate scam in America. Before the crowd of investors and cameras, Ackman unveiled a 300-slide presentation. His claim was as bold as it gets. Herbalife is a pyramid scheme that will collapse to zero. But this wasn't just an academic exercise. Ackman's hedge fund, Pershing Square Capital Management, had quietly built a short position worth $1 billion. He had borrowed and sold millions of Herbalife shares, betting their value would plummet once the truth came out. If he were wrong, he'd lose a fortune. If he were right, he'd make history. But before we begin, tell us in the comments some stories you know about Herbalife's fraud. If this topic matters to you, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. To understand why this mattered, you need to know who Bill Ackman is. At the time, he was already famous on Wall Street for activist investing, taking big stakes in companies, pushing for changes, and reaping massive profits. He had built Pershing Square into a multi-billion-dollar fund by taking on corporate giants. But his approach was controversial. Ackman was known for his confidence, his data-heavy presentations, and his willingness to publicly criticize CEOs. He saw himself as a crusader for transparency. His critics saw him as a ruthless opportunist. And in Herbalife, he thought he'd found his ultimate target. Founded in 1980, Herbalife sells protein shakes, meal replacement drinks, and nutritional supplements. By 2012, it operated in more than 80 countries, claiming billions in annual sales. But Herbalife wasn't like a traditional retailer. It used multi-level marketing, or MLM. Here's how it worked. Distributors bought products directly from Herbalife. They earned commissions by reselling to customers. But the real money, Ackman argued, came from recruiting new distributors, who then bought more products themselves. This created a system where each new recruit brought in fresh money that mostly flowed up the chain. Ackman's team spent months investigating Herbalife's business model. They interviewed former distributors, reviewed public filings, and studied the company's compensation plans. His conclusion? Herbalife was less about selling nutrition and more about selling the dream of easy wealth. In other words, it was a pyramid scheme. Most distributors lost money. Only the top tiers earned significant income. Success stories were used as bait to recruit more participants. He said, "This company targets low-income people, immigrants, and the vulnerable, promising them a better life, when, in reality, almost everyone fails." Ackman didn't just want investors to know, he wanted the world to understand. Ackman's presentation was immediately front-page news. He launched a website called factsaveherbalife.com, posted videos, and went on television to make his case. He told CNBC, "We are going to take this company down. We will make nothing personally. Any profits will go to charity." It was a bold move-on ethical crusade mixed with a billion-dollar bet. But Herbalife wasn't about to roll over. Just when it looked like Ackman had Herbalife cornered, another heavyweight stepped into the ring, Carl Icahn. Carl Icahn was one of America's most feared investors, known for corporate raids and activist campaigns. He and Ackman had a long-standing grudge from a failed deal years earlier. Now, Icahn saw a chance for revenge. He began buying up Herbalife shares eventually, accumulating a stake of over 25%. His message was clear: "I'm betting you're wrong, Bill." Then came one of the most surreal moments in financial television history, a live, unfiltered showdown on CNBC. In a heated exchange, Ackman called Icahn a bully, and Icahn called Ackman a liar. They shouted over each other, each billionaire defending his side of the trade. It was the ultimate clash of titans, broadcast live to millions. As Icahn's buying pushed Herbalife's stock price higher, Ackman's position became painful. In a short sale, if the stock goes up instead of down, losses can be unlimited. Every dollar Herbalife rose cost Pershing Square millions. The more Icahn bought, the tighter the squeeze. And soon, other big investors like Dan Loeb also jumped in, betting Herbalife would survive. It became a test of nerves, Ackman's billion-dollar conviction versus Icahn's billion-dollar defiance. While the billionaires traded barbs, regulators took notice. By 2014, The Federal Trade Commission and other agencies launched investigations into Herbalife's practices. Ackman's public campaign had put enormous pressure on regulators to act. He even hired lobbyists and investigators to support the cause. In 2016, the FTC announced a settlement. Herbalife would pay $200 million in refunds. The company had to overhaul its compensation plan. Distributors could no longer earn mainly by recruiting new members. FTC Chairwoman Edith Ramirez declared, Herbalife cheated hopeful salespeople out of hundreds of millions of dollars. But crucially, the FTC did not officially call Herbalife a pyramid scheme. This ambiguity allowed the company to survive. The settlement validated many of Ackman's criticisms. Herbalife's practices were clearly misleading and harmful to many recruits. But the company didn't collapse. Its stock rebounded. Icahn kept buying. Meanwhile, Ackman was stuck in a costly position. As Herbalife shares doubled and tripled from their lows, Pershing Square faced mounting losses. In early 2018, more than 5 years after launching his attack, Ackman finally closed his short bet. Reports estimated he lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Icahn, on the other hand, made a fortune. He eventually sold parts of his stake for $1 billion profit. Ackman later admitted, it was a mistake to bet so much money and energy on one outcome. This wasn't just a battle over a nutrition company. It was a case study in the power and peril of activist investing, the blurred lines between legitimate MLM and pyramid schemes, how personal rivalries can shape billion-dollar trades. Ackman's research forced Herbalife to reform its practices, but his aggressive tactics also fueled a counterattack that he couldn't contain. In the end, he lost the financial war but arguably won a moral victory. His campaign shined a spotlight on the risks of multi-level marketing, prompting consumers and regulators to look deeper. Bill Ackman's crusade against Herbalife remains one of Wall Street's most dramatic showdowns, a saga of ambition, ego, and billions on the line. It proved that in high finance, conviction can be a strength, but also a dangerous trap. And it showed that when billionaires clash, the rest of us get a front row seat. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more real-life financial thrillers. Tell us in the comments, was Ackman a hero exposing fraud? Or just another billionaire playing with people's lives? Thanks for watching.